You're on the clock with Tyler Jennings and Jared Perkins, a Prospects Live podcast for everything MLB Draft related. Join us as we discuss the biggest stories from college and high school baseball, bring you interviews from your favorite draft prospects, and break down live looks with Prospects Live analysis across the nation. Get ready, because you're on the clock with Tyler Jennings and Jared Perkins.
All righty, welcome to another episode of On the Clock by Prospects Live. I'm Jared Perkins. No Tyler Jennings with me today, but we got an incredible guest with us, Myles Bailey, first base, third base outfielder out of Tallahassee, Florida, committed to Florida State. Myles, how are you doing today?
I'm good. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, man, we're excited to have you join. The first question I always ask guys, just because a lot of people don't know who you are quite yet. Some do already, but for those who don't, just give a little bit of background on your journey through amateur baseball and kind of how you got where you are today.
So I kind of started when I was 3. My dad played baseball at FAMU, which is another high school, or not high school, college in Tallahassee. So he played there, and he always had a dream of going pro, and he got hurt, so he couldn't. But so he's kind of tried to, I guess, live that through me. So, I mean, I started early. So I started when I was 3. So we started baseball early, we started T-ball. And then I think 8 years old is when I started getting serious about it, playing travel ball and all that. And he was my coach up until 12U. And then I moved to Jacksonville to get in Tallahassee, you don't get much exposure.
Yeah.
From colleges and teams and stuff, because there's not much going on in Tallahassee. So I moved to Jacksonville for baseball. Started there, started with 5-star, kind of got better. Was working out, losing weight, transformed my body. I was a little bit of a bigger kid early on. And then I think 15U summer, I committed to FSU, and they saw me because my brother was playing at some rec park in here, and me and my dad hit afterwards. And so they hit one of the recruiting coordinators at the time. His kid was on the other team they played against, so he saw me hitting afterwards. So they saw me starting there, and then we started getting in contact, and I committed there my 15U summer. And then I kind of just hit the weights, worked super hard. And then this last summer was kind of my coming out party for my name and all that stuff. So that's pretty much how it's been. It's been baseball. I mean, I've lived, ate, slept, everything baseball since I was 3. That's all it's been about is baseball.
I love it. Just out of curiosity for you, when did that kind of aha moment come for you? You're like, oh man, the MLB draft's a reality for me.
This summer, really?
Yeah.
I mean, it was always a goal to play at the next level and play past high school. And obviously I committed to Florida State freshman year, so that's kind of been what am I looking for? That's been known that was a possibility or that was gonna happen. And then pro ball was kind of oh, that's the dream. I mean, everyone wants to go to the big leagues and play in the big leagues, have the uniform on. And then this summer is kind of when I started doing good, and I was like, okay, these teams they're seeing me, and I started getting invited to East Coast Pro, the Perfect Game All-American, all the All-American games and stuff, and saw the boards and the rankings, and I was like, okay, this might be able to happen now. So it's been pretty cool. But yeah, this summer was when it started I really knowing that was gonna be my future or possibility in the future.
Yeah, I love it. And you've been kind of known for your power, your strength, right? Got a big lot of light tower, home run power type stuff. But for you is your favorite aspect of your game? I know you showed off some defensive versatility in high school, right? Played first base, third base, outfield, got some center field in. But what for you has kind of been the favorite aspect of your game?
I mean, obviously I like hitting balls far and hitting bombs.
Yeah.
And that can be my kind of, I guess, brag has been I could take you deep any second, or I can do any second. I can take you 400 feet. You don't want to pitch me, just have people scared of me. My favorite thing is just showing off my athleticism and proving people wrong, because I mean, I move well for my size. A lot of people don't see that when they see me.
Yeah.
When they see me move in the outfield, move running the bases. So that's my favorite thing, is to show people that I'm more athletic than they would think just by looking at me.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think a lot of those guys who are big size, a lot of power, everybody kind of overlooks the athleticism and the fielding ability. Where have you really tried to improve defensively this year?
Outfield, really. Third, I didn't start third until I think my sophomore year in high school, and because it's the exact opposite of third. I was so all I played until sophomore year was first base. So it's kind of I didn't have to throw the ball at all. I just fielded, go tag first. So the throw was kind of different for me. But then I moved to the outfield, and that's when my dad played in high school. So it kind of or in college too, he played in the outfield. So it kind of felt almost natural to be in the outfield. So that's why I want to the most is the outfield, just because it's where I probably will be. Or if I'm not at first, I think where I would get pushed to would be the outfield. So that's what I'm working on the most.
I love it. Yeah, I want to dive into the combine too, because just how well you performed there. But I first got to ask, like, how big has it been having your dad kind of as a mentor through all this? I mean, it sounds like you have a really close relationship with
Oh
him
yeah.
through it. Just but talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, it's been huge. I mean, every after every game, me and him talk, and if I had a good game, we talk about what happened in a bad game. I
Yeah,
ask him what he saw, what I did. So I mean, it's been huge to have him as my kind of support system, no matter what. I mean, no matter what the situation was, whether it was a workout or something he saw, but hitting in the cage. I mean, we'll go hit multiple times. I mean, now it's a little different because I'm on campus, so we don't do as much, but we go hit and just whatever it is. I mean, he was kind of almost my best friend in that situation because I mean, yeah, that situation because all we did was baseball. I mean, baseball, almost all the baseball stuff I did was with him. So whatever happened, I went to him for advice, and because I mean, he went through it. He played at the D1 level, so I mean, up until or yeah, he got up to here, so he knows what it takes to get this level and strive at this level. So it's been awesome to have him
man, that's
around
awesome. Yeah, I love that. You always like think about the guys that really help you come along, and just having your dad in your corner is gonna be cool.
for sure.
Taking us into the MLB Draft Combine, you put up some absurd exit velos in that BP, man. Like 3 balls, 110 miles per hour or harder, 10 over 105 total, and you hit a few. I think you had the biggest blast top out at 440 feet. Take us into that BP round. What was that like for you?
It was awesome. I mean, my goal, we were hitting me and a kid named Kale Fong were in the cage for probably 30 minutes because I mean, we didn't know what we got there like 8:30 and we didn't know when we were hitting because the schedule wasn't on we didn't see it until we got
Yeah.
to the field. So it was on our board. So we didn't hit till 10:30. So we were there 2 hours before we actually took BP. So we were in the cage for 30 minutes taking swings. And I was just like, I'm just trying to show off the power, I guess,
Yeah.
really. And so yeah, it was awesome. I mean, first round was I got to get the feel of the guy throwing because he threw a little. Well, from what I heard, he actually threw good to me. So I don't know what they were talking about, but they said he threw kind of weird. So I was just trying to get a feel out for him. Once I got my timing down, I mean, it was the best BP that I've taken either with eyes on me, if not ever. I mean, I take good BPs when I'm hitting at my high school field, whatever by myself. But with eyes
Yeah.
on me, that was the best BP I've ever taken in my life.
Yeah, I gotta have to imagine like it's a whole new level of locking in, right? With
Yeah.
all those scouts, every single
Oh
team
yeah.
basically there locked in on you. Yeah. So the other thing I wanted to ask about too from the combine is the peak force plates, like your force plate numbers. Those are absolutely insane too. Take us kind of into that experience as well.
So I work with a guy, or I haven't gone to him in a while, but I work with a guy named Travis Norton, who we just did a bunch of speed and strength and explosiveness stuff training for. I mean, it was some of the
Cool.
hardest training I ever done. Like the first time I went, I had never like been close to throwing up or anything working out. And the first time I went, I thought I was gonna throw up. Like after the workout, I was laying on the ground for probably 10 minutes afterwards because like I thought I was gonna die. It was some of the worst because ever done, but it's good for you. So I mean, just having that explosiveness training and all that stuff translates out into all the broad jumps and the force plates and all that stuff.
Yeah, that's awesome. The other thing I was going to ask you too is you get the opportunity, right, to be around all this MLB draft talent, some of the top guys in the nation. I'm sure you get those opportunities outside of this as well, but did you get to kind of see how other players go about their routines and kind of pick up tips and tricks there?
I mean, for me, it was the people. So they had us split up into like high school and college, and the people that I
Okay.
was around, I've kind of been around all summer through the PG
Yeah.
and all the All American games stuff. So it was really nothing new. It was kind of just like one of those events. Honestly, it was like a PG thing or something like that, just because the kids that were there were kind of the same kids that were at all those events.
Yeah, that makes sense. And the last question I got related to the combine is you had the opportunity to interview with basically all 30 teams. What was that like? How did kind of it vary from team to team for you?
It was cool. I mean, yeah, I mean, I talked to a lot in the fall, before because Florida State was here and they would come
Yeah.
and watch Tibbs and Cam and all them, so they would come do in homes and stuff. And a lot of people ask me, they're like, "What did they ask you any weird questions?" And I don't think I ever got like a weird question. I mean, it was really normal, like trying to get to know me, who I am, what kind of things I work on, what kind of things I did work on. And my biggest question for them is usually just like, from what you've seen from me, what do you think I need to work on the most?
Love it. Last question I'm going to ask you before we kind of go into a couple rapid fire ones. Take us into your passions away from baseball, right? What do you do to kind of step back? Because, right, you have your good performances, your bad performances. Sometimes it's really hard not to take those home. But what are some things you really do to help you, like when you step off that field?
I'm a big music guy, so like
Nice.
I love music, so I mean, I listen to music all the time. Like I have my AirPods in, riding around campus on my little scooter. I have music in, and I love lifting weights too. I mean, that was kind of if I ever needed, or if I was bored, ever needed to get away from something, I'd go lift weights. So I mean, it's kind of revolves around baseball. But I mean, I'll fish a little bit when I have time. I'll go fishing. I'll play a lot of basketball when I do go to the gym because our gym that I go to has a basketball court. So I'll play a lot of that and just kind of hanging around my friends, lifting weights, listening to music, just kind of to get my mind off things. But yeah, really is music. Like music is kind of my get away from everything.
Do you have like a go-to genre, or do you play an instrument?
R&B, like
Yeah,
Don Toliver, Travis Scott, Drake, all those type of guys.
love it. Gonna go in a couple of rapid fires. One question I always ask guys: what's the go-to food place in your hometown?
Mm, probably Gordo's. No, 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 Mr. Robato's. That's where we used to go after every game or before a game. Mr. Robato's like a hibachi place. Mr.
Oh,
Robato's.
cool.
Yeah.
Love it.
Oh,
Love it. Go-to sport outside of baseball.
basketball.
Yeah, favorite team.
Wherever KD's at.
Love it. Myles, we can't thank you enough for taking the time to join us and on the clock. We're wishing you nothing but success as you kind of go through your journey in professional baseball, college baseball, wherever you decide to do. Thank you for joining us, man.
Thank you for having me.